So now, guess who's jealous of Adele? Beyonce. Beyonce needs auto-tune. Adele, Aretha, Celine, Dionne Warwick, and Mariah. They need nothing.
Power God. This is why Adele has to get on the podium and thank Beyonce, when actually she did it because of my manager, my label, my A&R, and all of the I created for her to exist.
Wendy Williams has people buzzing again after putting Adele back in the spotlight, claiming she was actually nervous around Beyonce. Wendy's been hinting at this for years, but critics kept calling her messy and accused her of stirring drama between the two icons. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Adele was reportedly dealing with serious pressure that nobody fully understood. It makes that emotional Grammy moment hit differently now, when Adele stood there, overwhelmed and teary, dedicating her award to Beyonce. Fans thought it was pure respect, but now some are wondering if it was deeper than that, like she was trying to stay in everyone's good graces and avoid any backlash in the industry. There have always been whispers about artists facing tough situations when they don't show love publicly, and Adele clearly wasn't trying to be caught up in anything like that. And remember when the internet ran wild with those viral memes? People were posting clips of celebrities thanking Beyonce for everything, even when she had nothing to do with their wins. It became a whole trend, almost like an unspoken rule in the spotlight. Some videos even pulled in names like Aaliyah, MIA, and stories tied to Jay-Z's past drama, including a woman named Kathy, whose sudden passing right before a major interview raised a lot of eyebrows and questions that still haven't been fully answered.
Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. One of the best videos of all time.
Beyonce was so monumental. We adore you. You are our life.
Yes.
Beyonce and I started out around the same time, and just like all of her fans, I fell in love with her. And the first time I saw her, from her singing to dancing to acting, she can do it all. She's a triple threat and one of the most talented people I've ever seen.
And the fact that Beyonce made a country record changed the game. So thank you. Beyonce, you changed my life. So thank you so much. I definitely want to say thank you to Beyonce.
And thank you, Beyonce. You're amazing.
I also have to say, Beyonce, just stop it. Everybody, Beyonce, you got great music. We all love it. We all love you.
People online started pushing this wild idea that Beyonce might have had influence over these women's careers, or that she was somehow tied to their sudden downfalls after they didn't go along with certain expectations. Every single one of those viral compilations had J. Cole's track She Knows playing in the background, which only made everything feel even more intense and suspicious. What really caught attention is how in that song, J. Cole name drops Aaliyah, Left Eye, and Michael Jackson, three huge stars whose careers ended in shocking and unexpected ways, with plenty of rumors about industry pressure surrounding them before everything happened. That detail had people connecting dots and building theories, even though none of it has ever been confirmed. And it didn't stop there. Talk started spreading that J. Cole might have been hinting at someone powerful when he wrote She Knows, with some pointing straight at Beyonce as the inspiration behind the message. On top of that, blogger Storm and Rowe added even more drama to the mix, claiming the reason so many artists publicly praise Beyonce is because of her unmatched influence and status in the industry, almost like she's on a whole different level. According to him, the music industry moves in cycles, choosing who gets crowned as the top queen or king at different times. He claimed it used to be Madonna running things, but then Beyonce stepped into that spotlight, and now other artists, even major stars like Adele, are expected to show respect and give her credit in a big way.
Beyonce is a witch. She's a very powerful witch. She's heavy into African spirituality. She is a daughter of, I believe, either a daughter of Oshun or Yemaya. I go back and forth. I feel like it's Oshun though, but if I got it wrong, I got it wrong. But nonetheless, she's a high-ranking witch. Madonna is a very high-ranking witch. She is a high priestess. That's just pretty much what it is. Of course, the main thing Madonna practices is Kabbalah, but then there's different versions of Kabbalah, just like there's different versions of African spirituality. But then I also believe that in addition to African spirituality, I do believe that Beyonce is into dark magic and black magic as well. her and Jay-Z.
Storm wasn't even the first person to bring up those Ashanti-related claims. That conversation really took off during Beyonce's Lemonade era, especially when she wore that iconic yellow dress in the visuals. Fans quickly pointed out the symbolism connected to Ashanti, and they had people talking non-stop across social media. Still, it's important to remember that a lot of those interpretations come from fan theories, not confirmed facts. What made everything feel even more intense is that Lemonade was the same album that didn't win Album of the Year, with Adele taking the award instead. And when Adele got on stage, she didn't just celebrate like people expected. She turned the whole moment into a heartfelt speech about Beyonce, praising her heavily and showing deep admiration, almost like she felt a huge need to make that respect crystal clear. Adele really had people raising eyebrows with how far she took it, because it didn't stop on that stage. After the show was over, she even went straight to Beyonce's dressing room just to praise her again and say she deserved the award more. That's when folks really started side-eyeing the situation, wondering what was really going on behind all that extra gratitude. It had people talking like, okay, this is a lot. Artists have shown love before, sure, but Adele took it to a whole different level with how intense she was about it. She even said, I just got this feeling I won. I got overwhelmed with I will have to go and tell her how much a record means to me. And she didn't stop there either. She reportedly started explaining things about how award shows work and how certain decisions get made at the top. She went on saying, the way that the Grammys work and the people who control it at the very, very top, they don't know what a visual album is. They don't want to support the way that she's moving things forward with her releases and the things that she's talking about. That's a whole breakdown right there, and people couldn't believe she went that deep into it.
She is my icon of my whole life.
My life is Beyonce, and this album for me, the Lemonade album, was just so monumental. Beyonce.
Lemonade. So a piece of me did die inside as a Beyonce stan, I'm not gonna lie, because I was completely rooting for her. I feel like it was her time to win. Obviously the visual is very new, and and the Grammys are very traditional, but I just thought this year would be the year that they would kind of go with the tide. And I am, of course, very, very grateful having won it. But I felt the need because I love her, because I felt like she was more.
All of this had fans debating like crazy, with some saying she sounded overly nervous, while others felt she was just being genuine and giving real respect where she thought it was due. Either way, the moment felt intense, and it definitely left people with a lot of questions about what was really behind all that energy. Now, to be fair, none of this has ever been confirmed, but a lot of people online definitely ran with those ideas. And right on cue, Wendy jumped into the conversation too. Just hours after Adele's emotional moment at the Grammys, Wendy jumped live on her show and straight up claimed that Beyonce might have felt some type of way about Adele's success, especially with 25 reportedly outperforming Lemonade on the charts. She didn't stop there either. Wendy even started comparing their lives outside of music, saying that many people see Adele as more relatable because she keeps things more natural and less polished, while Beyonce is known for having a very carefully curated image. That take had people debating like crazy and picking sides all over social media. At the time, Wendy caught serious backlash for those comments, but now some are looking back and wondering if she was picking up on industry tension that others ignored. Still, it's important to remember that a lot of these claims are based on opinion and speculation, not proven facts, even if the conversation keeps resurfacing.
Guess who's jealous of Adele? Beyonce. Adele is the voice, and Adele does not have to lose 50 pounds to impress us. And Adele is just a beautiful, gorgeous, regular woman that we can all relate to. They're, like a real body. Adele has a live-in lover and a brand new baby. And Beyonce's got a husband and the Blue Ivy baby.
You could even look at what happened with Carrie Hilson back in the day. There was a whole situation when a leaked remix of her song Turning Me On started spreading everywhere, and people quickly noticed lines that sounded like direct shots at Beyonce. The lyrics had fans talking non-stop, especially with that clear nod to Irreplaceable when she said, "Move it to the left." which many took as obvious shade. Things got even awkward when a clip surfaced of Carrie hesitating to hold up a magazine after noticing Beyonce and Jay-Z were on the cover. That moment alone had people side-eyeing the tension and wondering what was really going on behind the scenes. Later on, Carrie addressed the controversy and shared in an interview that she felt pressured by industry forces when it came to that remix, suggesting it wasn't fully her own decision to put those lyrics out there. Still, by that point, the situation had already taken off in a big way, and the backlash hit hard. Even years later, people still bring this up as an example of how quickly things can spiral in the industry, especially when big names get pulled into public drama like this. By that point, people were already saying Carrie's career had taken a serious hit. Some even joked that playing it safe and showing public support, like Adele did, might have worked out better for her in the long run. It became one of those moments the industry kept referencing when talking about how fast things shift. Then there's Blue Cantrell, who was really making waves at her peak. She had major attention on her, with multiple record labels trying to sign her, and it looked like she was set for something huge. But fans started noticing that her momentum slowed down around the time Beyonce was rising as a solo artist, which sparked a lot of chatter online. Back in 2003, Blue released her album Bittersweet. The same year, Beyonce was stepping out on her own and dominating the spotlight. That overlap had people comparing their paths and turning it into a competition narrative, even though nothing was ever officially confirmed. On top of that, rumors started floating around about Blue and Jay-Z, but those claims were never verified and mostly stayed in the world of speculation. There were also fans who pointed to Beyonce's song Signs, saying it might have been hinting at personal situations. The lyrics go, "I was in love with a Sagittarius. I wish he were a Virgo, the same sign as me, and know how to show me love, because I've been hurt by Pisces." That had people connecting dots quickly, especially since Jay-Z is a Sagittarius and Blue Cantrell is a Pisces, which only added more speculation to the mix. As for Blue, reports from outlets like TMZ described some concerning moments in her life, with claims that she appeared distressed in public and spoke about feeling unsafe. Those reports got a lot of attention at the time, but the full situation was never clearly confirmed, leaving many questions unanswered. Maya is another artist whose name keeps popping up in these conversations.
You want to hold the magazine? Just shout out Juicy Mac.
She was doing extremely well in her career, but rumors started flying after she collaborated with Jay-Z on Best of Me Part 2. Their on-screen chemistry had people talking immediately, even though nothing was ever proven. Those same rumors picked up again years later in 2014 when Beyonce performed Resentment live, and fans began analyzing every word and expression for hidden meaning. It turned into another wave of speculation, with people trying to piece together a story that was never officially confirmed. The original lyrics of Resentment go, "I've been crying for too long. What did you do to me? I was riding for you for so long." But during one live performance, Beyonce switched it up and said, "I know she was attractive, but I was here first, boy. Been riding with you for 12 years. Why did you do this to me? I'm not that crazy, B." That change had the crowd stunned and sent fans into full detective mode, trying to figure out if there was a deeper meaning behind it. Around that same time, a report claimed that someone from Beyonce's circle had contacted Media Takeout, alleging she had learned about a possible situation involving Jay-Z and Maya not long after that collaboration dropped. The article disappeared just hours later for unknown reasons, but by then, the story had already taken off online, and people were running with it. The situation got so intense that Maya finally stepped in to clear the air herself. She directly shut down all the rumors, making it clear she wasn't going to let speculation define her name. She said, "Never did, never was, never will. Illegitimate, thirsty sources with no facts. And that's the media for you, especially today. I play second to no one, pay my own bills, have my own label, own management company, and respect myself and marriage too much for nonsense." Her response was firm and straight to the point, and it showed she wasn't backing down from the noise at all. Even with all the chatter online, she made it clear she stands on her own and isn't tied to any of those claims people kept pushing. Even after Maya shut everything down, the rumors didn't just disappear. They kept circling online and pulling more names into the conversation. That's how this whole narrative kept growing, with fans and bloggers constantly revisiting old moments and trying to piece together connections that were never actually confirmed. Another thing people started pointing out was how often artists show public support for Beyonce at big events, interviews, and award shows. Some say it's simply respect for her impact and success, while others try to read deeper into it and turn it into something bigger than it really is. Either way, it keeps the conversation going and adds more layers to an already complicated story.
No one could ever compare to Beyonce. Let's just say the name that we're discussing. No one could compare. No one will for a very, very, very long time. And that was never my aim either. However,
it was framed that way.
Well, no, it was absolutely framed that way. It was written that way. Was not my lyrics, was not my writing.
Still, the way these stories keep resurfacing shows just how powerful public perception can be, especially when fans start connecting dots and building narratives that take on a life of their own. And that's really how this whole situation keeps evolving. One rumor turns into 10 more, and suddenly it feels like there's a hidden story behind every moment in the spotlight. Social media only makes it louder, with old clips, interviews, and performances getting pulled back up and analyzed like they just happened yesterday. Some fans even started revisiting award show speeches and red carpet interviews, pointing out every little detail: who said what, who looked nervous, who gave extra praise, and turned it into something bigger. But at the same time, others argue that this is just what happens when someone reaches Beyonce's level of fame. When you're that influential, every move gets watched and every interaction gets overanalyzed. There's also the reality that the music industry is highly competitive, and artists naturally support or shout each other out for many different reasons: respect, collaboration history, or just genuine admiration. Not everything has a deeper meaning, even if the internet tries to make it seem that way. Still, the mystery keeps people hooked, and as long as these moments exist, fans will keep digging, questioning, and building theories that keep this conversation alive. And the more people dig into it, the more they start pulling up patterns they think are too consistent to ignore. Old interviews, subtle comments, even body language during public appearances. Everything gets put under a microscope and turned into evidence by fans who are convinced there's more going on behind the scenes. At the same time, others are quick to call that out, saying it's easy to connect dots when you're already looking for a certain outcome. In an industry this big, overlaps are bound to happen, and not every coincidence means there's a hidden agenda behind it. Still, that hasn't stopped the theories from spreading, especially when clips and headlines get taken out of context and reshared with a completely different spin. What really keeps this conversation alive is how every new moment seems to reopen the discussion all over again. One speech, one lyric change, or even one look on stage can send people right back into speculation mode, questioning everything they thought they understood before. At the end of the day, the line between fact and fan theory keeps getting blurred, and that's exactly why this topic refuses to fade away. And just when it feels like the conversation might finally cool down, something new always pulls it right back into the spotlight. Whether it's a resurfaced clip, an old lyric getting fresh attention, or a past interview going viral again, it doesn't take much for people to start connecting dots all over again.
Romantically?
No. No, I can't answer that. I can't answer that.
Oh, she's touching him up the neck! Look! You see?
Why do people not want to let the Jay-Z Blue Cantrell thing go?
I didn't think it would last, though.
What, me and him?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you're above 25.
Why, he needs somebody younger than that?
At the end of the day, yeah.
Why not?
Because I think at the end of the day, a younger, less savvy to the ways of the world broad.
Somebody a little bit more naive.
Fans have even started comparing how different artists act in similar situations. Who gives long shout-outs, who keeps it short, and who avoids certain topics completely. Those small differences get turned into full-blown debates, with people trying to read between the lines and figure out what's really being said without it being said directly. At the same time, industry insiders and critics often remind people that fame at that level comes with intense scrutiny, and sometimes a simple moment of respect or emotion can get misinterpreted as something much bigger. Not every reaction has a hidden meaning, even if it looks dramatic in the moment. Still, the mix of mystery, fame, and unanswered questions keeps people locked in. And as long as these clips and stories keep circulating, the speculation isn't going anywhere anytime soon. At this point, the conversation is taking on a life of its own, and it's bigger than any one moment or artist. What started as a few comments and viral clips has turned into a full-blown narrative that keeps expanding every time someone adds a new detail or revisits an old one. Some fans are now questioning how much of what we see in the spotlight is actually genuine, and how much is shaped by pressure, expectations, and the need to maintain certain relationships in the industry. When the stakes are that high, even small actions, like a speech or a shout-out, can carry way more weight than people realize. On the flip side, there's still plenty of voices saying this is exactly how rumors grow out of control, with speculation stacking on top of speculation until it starts to feel like fact. Without real proof, a lot of these claims remain just theories, no matter how convincing they might seem when put together. But one thing is clear, the mix of fame, influence, and mystery has people watching every move closer than ever before, and they're not looking away anytime soon. And now, every time a major event rolls around, people aren't just watching for performances or wins, they're watching for reactions. Who claps the loudest? Who gives a shout-out? Who keeps it low-key? Every little move gets picked apart and turned into another talking point online. It's gotten to the point where even the smallest moments can spark big conversations. A pause during a speech, a certain look in the crowd, or even who someone chooses to mention or not mention can have fans going back and forth trying to decode what it all means. At the same time, some industry voices keep reminding everyone that this level of scrutiny comes with the territory of being at the top. When you reach that kind of status, people naturally read into everything, even when there's nothing deeper behind it. Still, that hasn't slowed anything down. If anything, it's made people pay even closer attention, because now the expectation is that every public moment could be hiding something more, and that idea alone keeps the speculation going strong.
She was attractive, but been riding with you for 12 years. Why did I deserve to be treated this way by you?
And now it's not just about what happens in public, it's about what doesn't happen too. People are starting to notice who stays quiet, who avoids certain conversations, and who keeps their distance in moments where you'd expect some kind of reaction. That silence alone has become its own kind of headline, sparking even more curiosity and debate online. Fans are out here analyzing timelines, comparing past and present interactions, and even questioning sudden shifts in careers of visibility. When someone steps back from the spotlight or changes direction, it instantly gets added to the bigger conversation, whether it's connected or not. At the same time, others are calling that approach out, saying it's easy to build a narrative when you're filling in gaps with assumptions. Not every quiet moment means something is wrong, and not every change has a hidden story behind it. But still, the mix of what's seen and what's left unsaid keeps people hooked. Because in a world where everything is usually so public, the mystery of silence can feel even louder, and that's exactly what keeps this conversation moving. And at this stage, it's like the audience has turned into full-time investigators, piecing together timelines, clips, and quotes like it's all part of one big puzzle. Every resurfaced video or old interview gets treated like a clue, and people are quick to connect it back to the bigger narrative, even when the link is unclear. What makes it even more intense is how fast these ideas spread. One post turns into a thread. That thread turns into a viral debate, and suddenly millions of people are discussing something that started as pure speculation. The speed alone gives these stories more weight than they might actually deserve. Still, there's a growing group of fans pushing for balance, reminding everyone that real lives and careers are involved, and not everything should be turned into a theory without solid facts. It's easy to forget when the conversation gets this big and this loud. But even with that pushback, the curiosity doesn't fade. If anything, it keeps evolving, because the more people try to separate fact from fiction, the more layers they uncover, and that keeps everyone watching closely. Things escalated even further when Maya's manager spoke out, claiming she was being pushed out of certain spaces in the industry because of all the rumors. There were also reports that some extreme fans had crossed the line and sent her threatening messages, which only made the situation more serious. At first, it sounded unbelievable, but once things started getting out of hand, it became clear why she felt the need to finally address everything and clear her name. And of course, Wendy had already been speaking on all of this. Love her or not, people always say she doesn't hold back, and moments like this are why her name keeps coming up in these conversations. Some viewers are now looking back at what she said and wondering if she was picking up on things others ignored at the time. As for Adele, her actions still have people debating to this day. Some believe she knew exactly how to navigate that moment, while others think she was simply showing genuine respect. Either way, that Grammy speech continues to be one of the most talked about moments, and it keeps getting pulled back into this bigger discussion. Online reactions are still split, with comments like, "So Wendy wasn't lying," and "She might be messy, but she speaks her mind," popping up everywhere. But now it's your turn. What do you think is really going on here? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more.